everyone. I'm Airlie, Alison's daughter, and on behalf of our family, I'd like to welcome you and thank you for choosing to join us today in celebrating her life. Alison often said of her sister, her mother and herself that they always had a tune running through their heads, and in her time she played piano, keyboards, blues harp, auto harp, harmonica, and most recently ukulele, and she loved to sing. So today, with the help of her tech-savvy and musical family members, we're playing and singing some of her favourite tunes. Along the way, we'll be showing you images of her life and interests and telling stories of her from different perspectives. We'll finish by singing her out with one of her favourite tunes, I'll Fly Away, and it would mean a lot to us if you'd join us in sending her off. And now I'd like to invite Brother Max up to speak about Alison's full and adventurous life.
I think we all thought that this day I'd have a line of mourners going from here through past Southport up to Helensvale somewhere, but that's not how it pans out these days. She's 3223. Did anyone ever hear an easier to remember birthday than 3223? I remember 3223. It was nearly 100 years ago, so it's one heck of a life. And so she was born 5 years after her father came back from the war, all shot up. And did you boys know that Granddad was attacking a German bunker, and he had a pistol up like this, and he had 60 men behind him, and a bomb went off in the middle and blew them all, nearly killed them all, and he was terribly wounded and he was paralysed all his life, which meant free ice cream at the TPI picnic for the pensioners, as much as you could eat. It was great. Anyway, like her sister Innes above her, Mum just had this whole attitude of just absolutely unconditional love. She loved everybody and everything that she met. And that showed right through, without favour or fear or anything like that. She just loved and just gave the whole time, like Innes. And when the war came, she was in the Women's Air Force and she was a PE instructor. And many at the RSL, technology for you, at the RSL, one time about 5 years ago, we saw this woman looking at her very strangely, and this lady, little old lady, had blue rinse in her hair. She's looking at Mum and and I thought, what's she up to? She's up to something, this woman. She's looking like that, and then we went up to get drinks together, and this woman looked at her again. She said, "It is you." She said, "You were at Evans Head." Mum said, "Yes, that's right." She said, "I remember you." She said, because Mum was a PE instructor, getting all these young tarts fit to drive trucks and be in the Air Force and stuff. She said, "I remember you." "Oh," she said, "you are really mean." And Mum was horrified. Oh, no, it was like that whole drill sergeant in Full Metal Jacket, you know, that was Mum's version. But after the war, of course, Dad didn't get out of the Navy. They said, "Oh, look, didn't you read the fine print? You've signed up for 12 years. He said, "Well, I signed up till we won, and now we've won, I want to go home." No. 12 years. It's a young man's Navy, Bill. You'll be fine. He was by then a chief petty officer, so he went over the yardarm, which is the highest sail on a ship. That's what you say when you become an officer. He went that high, he went over the yardarm, and came back Lieutenant Worrall. And he came back with a Vauxhall car, GVP 304. And we'd be driving down the road, no car radio, and Dad had burst into song. "I've been courting Mary Jane, where have you been?" And we'd all kick in with the chorus from the back seat, and Mum would smash in with the harmony. "I've been courting Mary, I've been courting Mary, and Mum would smash it like this. And another one was, "Where have you been all the day, Billy boy, Billy boy?" And we used to sing, "Well, my Nancy tickle my fancy," but we'd sing, "Well, my Nancy piddle my pantsy," and crack up like that. And that lasted till the car radio came. But yeah, Mum, we had 4 kids in expensive educations, and so she used to go and pick apples in the summer, in the height of summer, so as to pay for the school fees for all of us, you know, just for a few extra bucks and stuff. But yeah, a wonderfully kind woman. I remember somebody deeply insulted me once, and I was really pissed off. And I said, how dare she say that she's better than us? And I expected Mum to come in, yes, there's nothing wrong with our family at all. And yeah, Mum, let's give her a broadside. And she said, well, we've all got things we wish we could have handled better. that was Mum, you know. And so, yeah, that's something we could aspire to, be kinder to each other and not hold back, you know. As Mum said, if no one in this world, if no one's shooting at you and you're not hungry, you're having a good day. That's just about it from me. I know I'm supposed to talk for 5 minutes, but just the love, and it never stopped. And so, yeah, it is a celebration. I mean, it's one hell of an innings, 5 months short of 98. To those of us that inherited the genes, we're very grateful for that, you know. So, yeah, good old Ma. And I got a distinctive impression for those of us that believe in such things that she was so, it's all right, I'm happy now, don't worry. You know, I'm where I want to be. You know? Okay, that is all I have to say. I beg your pardon, one more thing. I'd like to share Mum's poem with you. I've got another minute to do it. Mum's Alison reflects. She said, what will the world be when I am gone? Glimpsed in the memory of family and friends, dispersed in a shower of objects, the colours of my house, the books on the shelves, the art on the walls, the music winding through, all tossed in the air, sorted through and sent to the op shop or the tip. Such permanency as remains will be in the beautiful things adopted by the living, coveted and rehomed. Great-grandma's table, Dad's walking stick, Mother's silver, and in the children of my body, going ahead in time without me. The world will be as it was, and I will be a dust of molecules, returned like was for recycling in the vast and wonderful universe. Remember me.
I ever leave this world alive, well, thank you for the things you did in my life. If I ever leave this world alive, I'll come back down and sit beside your feet tonight. Wherever I am, you'll always be more than just a memory. If I ever leave this world alive, if I ever leave this world alive, I'll take on all the sadness that I left behind. If I ever leave this world alive, the madness that you feel will soon subside. So in a word, don't shed a tear. I'll be here when it all gets weird. If I ever leave this world alive. So when in doubt, just call my name, just before you go insane. If I ever leave this world, hey, I may never leave this world, but if I ever leave this world alive, she says, I'm okay, I'm alright, though you have gone from my life. You said that it would, now everything should be alright. She says, I'm okay, I'm alright, though you have gone from my life. You said that it would, now everything should be alright. Yeah, it should be alright.
Testing, testing, 1, 2. Hello, everyone. So I was going to do the speech up at the podium, but I thought because most of my conversations with Alison were over a piano, I'd like to do it this way. For Alison, it may not be news to anyone, but Alison was a lover of life in its purest form. Her attitude toward new experiences was always one of openness and curiosity. She rarely paused to look back and always seemed to be traveling somewhere or learning something new. My first memories of Alison were of her and Bill living in a retirement village with Nana Waite. My focus was generally on the superb PC that she had and all of the games that I could play with Lachlan. But only meters away were drawers full of gold medals and all over the house trinkets of her world travels. Though her achievements were immeasurable, she would never display her medals or even talk about the past unless you really pushed for it. I could go on and on about the impact she had on me, the way she created an incredible family, or the people she met around the world and continued to send letters to, but if you're hearing this, you probably already knew all of that. Something you may not know, however, is that I have sat in this chapel once before when my best friend passed away. I was at a low point in my life physically and mentally, and it caused me to reflect and realize I wasn't where I wanted to be. As fate would have it, though, I started a new job, which happened to be just across the road from Alison's unit. The Galen Rebuild project started with a call to Alison and a sneaky visit to her gym. So it went on for weeks and months. I would finish my day at the office and then I would go up to Alison's place and she would ask me to help her with some cryptic crosswords, or I would ask her about life as she saw it growing up. And then I'd go off and do a workout. But my favorite bit was always hearing whatever new song she was listening to at the time, except when it was going down the road feeling bad. I saw that. I'm sorry. She loved it though. We would go down to the piano some days if I wasn't too sweaty from the gym, and there was one song that she always requested. She would use the royal we liberally when talking about it. We like this song, don't we? Anyone who knows Alison would know that. Unfortunately, I would always butcher the song when I tried to play it for her, and I always thought to myself, I'll learn it better for next time. Well, in the past week, I've listened to it about 100 times, and it has only just dawned on me. This song represents such a huge part of Alison's personality. No matter what was going on, Alison was a true friend to the people in her life. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said, 'cause you've got a friend in me. 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 Well, you got troubles, well, I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together, we can see it through, 'cause you've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. Now some of the folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, maybe, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. It's me and you, boy, and as the years go by, friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. For Alison.
Okay, I'm Sheena, the third daughter in the row, as everybody here knows. Born in England when Dad was posted over there for 3 years and carted Mum and Ellie and Max along. I don't remember anything about England because we moved to Darwin when we were in like 1955, 56. I was only about 3, and my very first memory of this whole life is standing on the back veranda in Darwin, holding my mother's hand, she looking very big up there, and the stairs looking very long and looking a far way down, and we were waving goodbye to Max and Airlie as they went off to school, I guess it must have been, or kindergarten, whatever. So that was my first memory. My first dream was, it was dusk, and I was standing outside away from the house a bit, and Mum is up in the kitchen preparing a meal in my dream. She's illuminated, the lights are on in the kitchen, and even though the dark is settling outside, she's just working away as she always did, just, doing what needed to be done. And everything looks pretty normal. And then I notice in my dream that there are flames licking at the posts that are holding the house up. And suddenly the heat from the fire that's developing creates this turbulence, and it starts to lift the house up. And I can see, I'm down here, and the house is just gently starting to float away, and Mum is still working at the, at the kitchen sink there, preparing the meal there. And I'm down below with this sort of aching anxiety and anguish, while my mum sort of gently floats away. And when you're 3 years old and Mum is the centre of your world, that's everything. And over the years, occasionally I'd think about this dream. When I'd think about, gosh, I can't imagine my life without my mum in it there. But, like the mother in the dream is unconcerned if she's floating away. That's just another adventure. Growing up in Sandana and living on a farm, she was used to the concept of kids ranging fairly freely and having adventures. And so, we'd sort of disappear after breakfast on our days off and not come back until the sun was going down. And but we always had this safe base to come home to. She liked having adventures, and she never told us, no, you can't do this something. Her motto was more like, yeah, why not? So, and later on this became like, explore South America with Airlie? Yeah, why not? Scuba dive in Borneo, New Guinea, Palau, certainly. Walk down the west coast of India, and let Lachlan and Sheena tag along? Why not? Trek up and down Spain and Portugal with Galen? I'm up for that. Cruising with Max? That would be great. Jump out of a plane in a tandem parachute for my 19th birthday? No problem at all. So Alison always supported our dreams, and as you can see from my talk and the ones that come, she was an amazing role model. She taught me so many things, I could never list them here. But the value of hard work and persistence, of just putting your head down and doing what needs to be done, was there. She raised 4 kids when Dad was away, sometimes even for 9 months at a time. 4 kids. I find that unimaginable. I don't know how she did it. Later on, half marathons and triathlons in her 60s, 70s. She never said, oh, I'm too tired, I'm going to stop now. You can keep going. No. When we were in India, she was just marching on ahead. The rest of us were falling, like flies, and she was marching on in indomitable spirit. She always went the whole distance. She never gave up. She taught me a lot about teamwork and, most of all, unconditional love. She wasn't one to judge. She let us do our things and always respected our decisions, even when they were pretty stupid. And now as I imagine my mum floating away from this life in the house that she built with her dreams, values, and her sterling example, I think she could feel pretty satisfied that she's leaving me behind, not a frightened child or adult, but a strong, I like to think, principled adults will do my best to be the kind of mother that she was for me. And I know that she did that for all of us. Love her so much.
sometimes I don't know why. And time seems to go by so fast. In the twinkling of an eye. Let's enjoy it while we can.
Let's enjoy it while we can.
Help me share my load.
Help me share my love.
From the dark and lonely street to the bright side of the road. Cricket!
Guess it's my turn. So I'm Bryn, number one grandson. Just ask me. Yeah. Yeah, you're second place, mate. Nana, what can I say? Nana had a lot of wonderful things to teach. She had an interesting dichotomy because on the one hand she was eternally sort of optimistic and had a joie de vivre, embraced life and went for it, gave it everything that she could. And I think she'd probably agree that she had very few regrets on the basis of things that she didn't do. And probably a ton of memories of all the things that she did do. On the other hand, at certain times she could be quite stoic. I imagine that came from her having to bring up a large family with Bill being away for a lot of time and living through some what must have been very challenging times, ones that probably mirror in some ways the things that probably a lot of people are feeling at the moment, uncertainty and isolation. But she just got on with the job. She just grabbed hold of that by the reins and said, well, what can I do in this situation? How can I make the best of this? And that's what she always did. So to me, that's sort of the one lesson that I got from her. My memories of her are things like playing soccer at Marundi on that hill, kick the ball up the hill and then it'd rush down for the fence line and I'd tear off down the hill and try to get it. Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. You had to run before it went through the barbed wire fence and really down into the bush there. She was always a great friend, always supported me, the things that everyone else has said, encouraged me. Can't really think of a cross word that she ever sort of said to me, so it's more than I can say for myself. So lessons to be learnt there. And she loved it when I played music for her. So I'm going to attempt to do that and not mangle that now. So what she did say to me fairly recently when she found out that I was playing the music of Django Reinhardt and Stefan Grappelli was how happy she was that I was playing the music from her youth. So that's me. I'll sit. Love you, Nana.
So good to be able to be with you today, and sorry we can't be there in person, but Tanya and I'd like to send our deepest condolences to the family. And I've got a little sunflower here because to me that's a good representation of my Aunt Alison and her good humour and sunny disposition at all times, and her generosity to us, her inquiring mind, her adventurousness, and all those things that everybody is aware about her. So it's great that we can be there somehow to help give her a fitting send-off. Thank you. High up in the branches of my family tree, you'll find the clues that tell you who I am, how I came to be. Pictured in the pages of this family's history, in black and white, the struggle and the fight to save our souls, save our souls. Oh, I would love to try to extend the family line. Blood is like a river, twisting like a vine, flowing on forever, leading us together, growing old, just growing old. Oh, the falling leaves settle on the ground beneath the family tree. Oh, seeds are sown. Slowly through the years, the family tree has grown. The family tree has grown.
Hi everyone, I'm Sally. I'm the youngest, the noisiest of the family, which is a lot of fun. Mum and I had a lot of fun being noisy. I first met Alison on the 15th of January 1958, and I loved her the minute I saw her. Mum was a child of the Depression. Our family grew up living quite a tight lifestyle. We didn't have a lot of stuff, but we had everything we needed. I got all Sheena's clothes as she grew out of them, which was really good. I got her bicycle for Christmas because I always liked her bicycle. They took it to the Frankston bike shop and painted it up and gave it to me for Christmas. They had Sheena's bike. And I think because of Mum's austere youth growing up in a farm, not having a lot, living a very simple life, she liked music from the Depression, which is why she was always asking everyone to play I'm going down the road feeling bad. So I'm going to play that today because, you know, every time I would go and see her, more recently, with boyfriend Bill, the two of us would go down there, and Bill and I we've got quite a thing going. In fact, I've asked him if he'd like to downsize from a 97-year-old girlfriend to a 62-year-old, and he said, yeah, he's up for it, because he likes singing and so do I, so I'll be continuing Mum's dates with Bill. So Bill knows this song because we not only would we sing it every time, but we'd sing it like 5 times every visit. Yeah, at least. So so we're going to be singing that. But a couple of things I just want to tell you about Mum that mightn't have been covered already was that we moved up to the Gold Coast in 1969. Life up here was better I was quite asthmatic at the time, a very skinny little thing, and I was sick in Melbourne all the time. So we all moved up here, and Sheena got left behind in boarding school, much to her surprise. But we all regrouped up here, and I went to Broadbeach State School, and there they had a fife band, and I went, ooh, music. So I learnt to play the fife. Mum saw an ad in the paper starting a youth orchestra. Would you like to be in an orchestra, dear? I'll buy you a flute. And I went, ooh, you ripper. So from then on, that's when my musical career started with Mum, and it never ever stopped, and it never ever will stop. So we were there. She started the Gold Coast Youth Orchestra. She was on the panel starting that and took on the job of librarian, and it's quite odious because she used to write out music parts for everything that was missing for a whole orchestra. Can you imagine that? Boy, did she take on the wrong job. Anyhow, so we're growing up and we were teenagers. We got into horses. Mum got a horse. Dad got a horse. Dad started having riding lessons, going to the Nerang Riding School, which had a very attractive riding instructor. And Dad was the only guy there, and all the other wives and mothers would be trotting around, and Dad would be doing his best riding and trotting around. Absolutely loved it. And then as I got into my 18s, I went into hospital, that's right. My back started growing the wrong way, and I was going to be a paraplegic. We found a doctor who could fix it, stop the moving of my spine. So Mum and Dad packed up and we all went down to Sydney, and it turned out I was going to be in hospital for a very long time, so I was actually in there for 4 months. And Dad had to go back and earn a living, but Mum stayed on, and so that she could stay with me in hospital, she got a job as a cleaner. So naval officer's wife, Commander Worrall's wife, took a job cleaning the toilets in the hospital so she could stay with me, and she moved into the nurses' quarters. I'll never forget that. I asked myself if I would be prepared to do that for someone else, and I don't know the answer to that. Anyhow, when we got me all sorted out and I got strong again, this wonderful girl called Diane came from America, from Boston, and moved into the flat under our house. She had so much energy and she was so much fun. She became my big sister in America and very much part of the Worrall clan. She found out we could learn to dive for $30. I went, wow, because at the dive shop it was $100, and I thought, oh, I'd never be able to afford that. So we three went for our diving medicals, lined up. They passed the medicals, I failed. So they got to learn to dive, and Sheena did shortly after too. 18 months later, I got my medical. Then we all did our tests for the theory on it. They all passed the theory, they got through, I failed. In fact, I failed the physics twice, but Mum said, don't stop, just keep going. So I did keep going. And the third time I got through, and I've had a career in diving ever since. So Mum showed me how important it was to keep going. It doesn't matter if you fail, if you can't do it, just keep going, you'll get there because the rewards are there. And when Mum was doing her training, we'd be going, where's Mum? And she'd be in the canal out the back of the house, underwater doing navigation, nil visibility. They're all full of bull sharks now, so they don't really swim in them. Where's Mum? Can you see an orange juice bottle going up the canal? Yep, that's Mum, there she is. Good, so we knew which one. Great new adventure for us as divers. And you know, Mum came on diving adventures with us to Tonga. She dived into a cave there. She dived off the boat. The dive guide said, there's a cave under there. All you have to do is dive underwater, swim under, and go up. So Mum goes in, rightio, off you go. So she was late 70s, and everyone on the boat was horrified because A, Mum didn't come up, and B, they knew Mum had done it, they would have to do it. Well, shit, I tell you, never seen more terrified people in your life. So, yeah, Mum came on adventures. Am I too old to come on one of your dive trips yet? No. So we went to Gizo in the Solomons. We went to Madang in Papua New Guinea. We went to Palau and we dived with the jellyfish lake. Millions of jellyfish all over it. Jeez, it was good, wasn't it, Ellie? Bloody brilliant. We went to Fiji. They had a big drum, log drum on the beach. They would, every time they hit it with the traditional stick, dunk, 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 Mum would come running out of her, or kind of like, because she was 91 by then, and she'd come out with her mask and snorkel and a lycra suit down to the beach to sign on, hop on the boat, go over to between the islands. That's where the manta rays were feeding. So Mum would be in there swimming with the manta rays. One night they said, who wants to go on a night snorkel? And Ellie and I looked at each other and went, no, we're too nice and comfortable and dry. And Mum goes, I will. And the dive guide looked at her and he went, really? She said, yes, dear. She said, okay. Off she went. And after that, when we turned up for breakfast, every day the whole village would come by and they'd go, good morning, Grandma. Because the talk had got out, because women that age just did not do things like that. So that's, there's so much more I could say about Mum, but you know, I've always told everyone how good Mum is. I've always told her because people are always asking about it. How's Mum? How's Alison? So I'm always talking about them. I'm just seeing on my notes here if there's anything I've missed. No, I think I've covered it pretty well. So I'm going down the road feeling bad. And her harmonica, so when boyfriend Bill and I would go and see Mum every week, we'd be singing, he'd bring the songbook, I'd be singing this, Mum would have a harmonica, and we'd play this song at least 5 times every visit. You got the lyrics there, sing along. I'm going down the road feeling so bad. I'm going down the road feeling bad. Going down the road feeling bad, Lord, Lord, and I ain't going to be treated this way. Social justice was very important for Mum. I'm going where the weather suits my clothes. I'm going where the weather suits my clothes. I'm going where the weather suits my clothes, Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. Mum was always a snappy dresser. In fact, the dress I'm wearing today was one of Mum's. Now, I'm going where the water tastes like wine. I'm going where the water tastes like wine. Where the water tastes like wine, Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. Mum liked wine, didn't she, Warwick? Yes, Warwick liked, Alison, I've got this lovely bottle of Snob 1999. Would you like some? Oh, yes, dear, very nice. I'm going where the dust storms never blow. I'm going where the dust storms never blow. I'm going where the dust storms never blow, Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. I can't actually remember discussing any dust storms with Alison, so I'm going to let that one go. I'm going down the road feeling bad. Going down the road feeling bad. Going down the road feeling bad, Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this time. Last time, a cappella. I'm going down the road feeling bad. Going down the road feeling bad. Whee-haw! I'm going down the road feeling bad. Lord, Lord, I ain't gonna be treated this way. Thanks for the music, Mum. You're amazing.
Hi everyone, my name is Lachlan and I wanted to take a couple of minutes to say some things about my grandma Alison, who was a great inspiration to me and to everyone in the family, I'm sure. She and I first met, I believe, well, my first memory of her is seeing her and Bill living at Terranora Village, the retirement home that could not contain her. She broke out of there some years later, but I wouldn't get to know her properly until we went on a trip to India in 2005, I believe, on her dollar. She insisted on paying for me to go, and we went and walked for a month through the back of India, through the bush, from Ahmedabad down to Dandi, recreating Gandhi's Salt March. And I learnt on that trip just how tough a woman she really was. We went through dust and heat and huge pressing crowds. I remember talking to her at the end of one long day. She said she'd been knocked to the ground by a group of unruly young men and had to pick herself up, said some quote-unquote unladylike things, and survived it all, completed the march. We went with Sheena as well, her daughter, and had an amazing experience together. I think that toughness is something that everyone who got to know her will appreciate. This is a lady who jumped out of a plane for her 90th birthday. This is a lady who grew up in the country, on a farm, had to be reliant on herself and her close family. This is a lady who survived World War II, had a husband in the war who, by her account, was lucky to have made it out from naval service alive. And this is a lady who could do anything, I think. And I wanted to say that her toughness and her honesty would sometimes mask how much love she had in her heart for her family and for her friends and for music and for the joy of life. So those who know her will know that that's an illusion of sorts. Her love was very real, and she instilled values of humility, resilience, honesty, curiosity, responsibility, self-reliance, and kindness in her children and in the many people who knew her, and by extension in myself as well. So I owe her a debt of gratitude and my love. I will say that I'll never forget her, but I think even if I did forget her, her influence would still be a part of who I am, regardless. She was a matriarch of the family. She was an example to everyone. And I love you, Grandma. Goodbye.
It was worthwhile to stay with you, and when Bill would come in the room, she would light up like nothing else.
Like a Christmas tree,
Yeah, she knew that that she had our permission to go, because we didn't want to hang in on staying around in difficult times just for us, because we were fine. She'd given us everything that we needed to be strong and resilient and happy and considerate and kind. And so it was Bill that kept her here for all those extra years. But she did fly away. She flew away last week. But she flew away gently, and she flew away quickly, because she knew that her job was done here, and she knew that everyone was in good shape and we're all going to look after each other, and that the rest of our lives would be fine because of the foundation that she gave us. So let's have a sing of this. It's I'll Fly Away. So.
Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shores. I'll fly away. I'll fly away.
morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a land where joy will never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning. Woo! When I die, hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. Nice. Nice. I love you.
See you, Mum.
Yeah. Thank you for the music, Alison. You're the best. Yeah, me too. Aren't they gorgeous?
If I ever leave this world alive, well, thank you for the things you did in my life. If I ever leave this world alive, If I ever leave this world alive, I'll thank you for the things you did in my life. If I ever leave this world alive, I'll come back down and sit beside your feet tonight. Wherever I am, you'll always be more than just a memory. If I ever leave this world alive, if I ever leave this world alive, I'll take on all the sadness that I left behind. If I ever leave this world alive, the madness that you feel will soon subside. So in a word, don't shed a tear. I'll be here when it all gets weird. If I ever leave this world alive. So when in doubt, just call my name. Just before you go insane. If I ever leave this world, hey, I may never leave this world. But if I ever leave this world alive, she says, I'm okay. I'm alright. Though you have gone from my life, you said that it would. Now everything should be alright. She says, I'm okay. I'm alright. Though you have gone from my life, you said that it would. Now everything should be alright. Yeah, should be alright.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming. A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But now from way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you. wondrous lace for you wear. Sometimes we don't know why.